guys, this is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and today is the final video in the series of videos that I did regarding the week prior to the election that is going to be happening on November 3rd, 2020, which is next week. I wanted to break these down into three separate videos because the events themselves of the week have a lot of energy, substantial energy to talk about. And as we're ramping up for a very stormy following week, I just wanted to go over a little bit about what to expect from this very beautiful event that's going to be happening on October 31st, which is Halloween. Happy Halloween to all of you guys out there that love Halloween. This Halloween is going to be a full moon in Taurus. It is the second full moon of this month. This is what is considered a blue moon and hunter's moon. Now, blue moons happen every once in a while, but blue moons on Halloween only happen once every 18 to 19 years. So this moon is very, very impactful and eventful. Now, I do want to talk heavily about the aspects. Now, remember, you have the ability to direct your energy onto whatever you want to direct it to. We are under the influence of energy, granted, and aspects do make us predisposed to have types of reactions. Think of it like this. For all you women out there that you know that when it's your time of the month, you're just much more emotional, or maybe you're just more tired. But that's like an event that you can predict. It's hormonal and it does impact your body. That's the way the energy is. It's very predictable. It's very easy to read, but it's also easy to redirect because you can succumb to, a really bad month. Or you can just say, it's a bad month, I'm going to take some Midol or whatever, and I'm just going to go still live my life. So it's, it just depends on how you want to route your energy. This full moon is very, very intense. For one thing, this full moon is in Taurus. So the opposing energy of the moon is going to be the sun in Scorpio. So right there, there's a very, very high intensity rate in the emotional self, as well as your sense of self, what you center your life around, right? These two energies are opposing each other, which can make us feel, that's why there's the lunacy of the moon. It can just make you feel slightly off. You're much more emotional, quick to react. The tides of your emotions can go up and down quite dramatically when the moon goes full. But this one's interesting. This one's interesting because the full moon is going to be conjunct in the same degree as Uranus and Taurus. So let's talk a little bit about what Taurus energy is. Taurus energy is the second sign in the zodiac. And it is the sign that rules what we value, who we value, why we value it, what we want to possess in this lifetime in our material realm. In the second house, you learn how to attract what you want, how to get what you want, because you go from the first house, which is like the baby to the child stage, to like the second house is more like how do you attract what you want, right? But it's also just the things that we're just very sensitive. All of our senses are heightened whenever we go through Taurus season or any sort of Taurus aspect. It rules all of our senses. So you become very, very sensitive to minute fluctuations of energy, much like the Virgo, much like Scorpio and all the water signs. Because it's opposing the sun in Scorpio, there is an element of depth to this. It goes deeper than just the superficial material realm. If you look at the polarity between Taurus energy and Scorpio energy, Taurus energy is very much about the material realm, whereas a Scorpio energy is diving very deep beneath the surface, right? Where it's so deep that you can't see. You know, it's not a tangible thing, whereas Taurus energy is very tangible. The reason I'm saying that is because we've got to think about the things that are really, really important to Taurus energy, because it's conjunct Uranus, and Uranus adds an element of chaos, the unexpected, the unpredictable, the unstable. That can be Uranian energy. It basically, what Uranus does is it's like the Tower card in tarot. You know, it's that jolt, it's that awakening, it's that sudden awareness, it's that sudden shift of energy, a redirection. That's what that energy is. But it's sitting in Taurus, which is in retrograde. So this is a very slow energy. This is, yes, chaos, but chaos for a very long time. A storm for a very, very long time. And if you've ever watched like a storm blow in, like say a hurricane, the ones that come in and just drop, you know, they drop all the rain and they cause all the chaos and then they leave, those tides the water tends to dissipate faster, right? Eventually, because it doesn't cause as much chaos. But the storms that hang around and just sit there, dumping and dumping and dumping, absolutely causes catastrophic events. That's what this energy is. This is the storm that's been coming. This full moon is an emotional full moon. And with it comes everything that we're ultra sensitive about. All of our emotions are going to be running high. Anxiety, off the charts. An inability to cope with the level of negative energy is going to be very hard on people. We're going to see a lot of people become very powerless in this type of energy. It's very hard to describe this energy, because when I feel it, it's like my chest immediately squeezes really tight and I get physically sick. I'm not even there yet, but that's just even touching or skimming this energy. It's like I can feel the energy being in this very negative arena. Because it's so slow moving, and because the amount of chaos it's something that moves really slow can cause, think of it like this. Think of it like, you put a frog in, a pot of water, and then you turn on the heat, right? Well, if you slowly turn up the heat, the frog sits in there and he basically cooks to death. But if you just put the frog in boiling water, he would want to jump out, right? That's the difference of this. This isn't a quick moving energy. That's that slow, steady, burning, boiling type of energy. And it's been building and it's been building, and we all feel it and we all know it. And for most of us that are highly sensitive to energy, most of us that are empaths, we have all felt this impending type of feeling of like something bad is on the horizon. So Mercury, which is in Libra, which is in retrograde, squaring off with Jupiter, squaring off with Saturn, and squaring off with Pluto. All of those energies, Capricorn energy, let's talk about what happens when Capricorn energy goes into a negative space, right? When it's in a square with anything. So Libra is your relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions. We talked about that in the last video, or I'm sorry, the first video. In retrograde, meaning the stuff that has always stood in the way of being really happy with people and partnerships and bonds and unions and things that are fair and not right, they're all coming back up to the surface. And things that stand in our way, things that we don't have power over, things that basically make all of our relationships unstable, on shaky ground, and completely dysfunctional. That is all coming out right now. So you're going to see a lot of rigid thinking. You're going to see a lot of controlling behavior. People want power and control over others right now because they are feeling powerless. They are in fear, right? They have a fear. You're going to see a lot of people delegating more like on a dictator level or on like an authoritarian level, and not so much considering other people's perspectives or how they're feeling. I feel like it's because people are so completely overwhelmed with their own emotions that what they're going to do is just give what little energy they can, and it's going to sound like a bark, right? It's going to sound like you're barking at somebody, telling them what to do, being too aggressive, because you're so deeply emotional and so filled with the type of energy that's swirling around us. It's almost like you're kind of feeling like you're drowning in some energy. For some of you guys that are really, really sensitive to others and what they're going through, your life could be great, could be wonderful. It's you're feeling the lack of compassion for others, the lack of fairness for others. You may be feeling like you're scared for others' futures. You know, maybe your future is fine, but people you love, maybe they're not stable. Maybe they're on shaky ground, and you're worried about them. For some of us, we're worried about us. We're worried about what's going to happen with our financial, with our economy, because when you think about it, Capricorn energy rules governments, institutions, organizations, laws, rules, regulations, any governing body, any thing that has control over who enforces the laws, rules, and regulations, of course. But if with all of these squares, you can absolutely guarantee there's going to be issues with abuse of power. There's going to be a lot of people who are very out of control. They don't know how to manage this level of division within inside themselves, even the disillusionment within inside themselves. Things that used to be their comfort zones are gone, and they're scared and they're in fear. And you're going to see a lot of people very pessimistic about the future. You're going to see a lot of people. What people do when they become powerless is they want to blame somebody. They don't want to take any personal responsibility for their predicament. You know, if you think about it, yes, the pandemic was terrible. And yes, what's going on with the government is terrible. But if we'd lived modestly and we'd saved most of our money, and we weren't prioritizing the wrong things, cars, houses, vacation homes, expensive trips, expensive jewelry, all of those things, if we didn't value those things, financially we would have a savings account. We'd be okay to have made it through this pandemic. But because we are people that are used to the creature comforts, and we valued the wrong things, we're paying the price for valuing those wrong things. So it is our personal responsibility now to get those things under control in our own lives. Also, for all of us that have gotten out of control in our health, in our well-being, in our, maybe we're in careers, maybe we've settled, all of those things, all the things that we are valuing are coming into question unfortunately in a very negative way, in a very emotionally charged way, and in a fear-based way. But without enough pain, we won't make a change. We won't try to seek a pleasure, like instinctually. So you have to look at this for what it is, as it's a very dramatic time, but it's also a very defining time, because it's a time that puts things into perspective. Yes, through negative energy. Because I know that personally with me, if I'm perfectly honest, I get into a comfort zone and I don't change it. It may not be what's best for me. It may not be what I want exactly. But if it's comfortable, I'm not going to make a change until I become uncomfortable. So what all of this energy is about making us effing uncomfortable, so freaking uncomfortable, that we go in there and we start to become a collective and we start to demand change. We start to collaborate. We start to address the things that never has been addressed before, that should have been addressed years ago. Laws that were made for times that don't reflect current issues right now. They want their comfort zones to remain the same, and they're scared, and they're going to fight and fight and fight because they just will not adapt to what's coming. Those are the people that are caught in these squares and these really, really intense negative aspects. And unfortunately, what it's doing is it's bringing all of us up to that same level, because all of us are impacted. I was listening to a couple people talk about the fact that it's so overwhelming right now that there's literally nothing left for people. There's no more energy for people to give anything. We don't get spun up over stories anymore, over lies, over the latest BS. We just don't care anymore. We're so used to the chaos. That's Uranus and Taurus. That slow storm that I'm talking about. And it is breaking things down so deep. We don't even know how deep it's being broke down. Taurus, we're looking at it from a superficial level. We're fighting way up here in this material realm. We don't understand that we're actually breaking people down. And this is where you get honest with yourself. You learn about every weakness, every insecurity, every single place that you lose power in this energy. We have to face it now. There's no more ignoring it. There's no more pretending like it doesn't exist. No more lying it away. No more creating an image and, photoshopping it away, creating a false life on social media, pretending like you're something that you're not. No, this is just, we're real. We're just getting real. We're getting real with ourselves, and we're getting real as a collective. So this is, when we're talking about Taurian energy, and if you think about it, every 18 to 19 years, we see something like this. This is a huge aspect. This is a major, major event in astrology. And what it pulls us back to is that we all deserve to be safe and secure. And we all deserve to build on strong foundations. We all deserve the same equal treatment. Libra energy is all about equality and harmony and peace. It's not about the 1% or 5 people owning all the money in most of the money in the world. Like, it's just enough. We've been valuing the wrong things. And so with this Uranus and Taurus energy in retrograde, it's pulling all that up. What we valued, what we shouldn't have valued, what we should value now, what we wish we would have valued when we had it and then we threw it away, or that we did something wrong and now we're paying the price for that. That's what all this energy is about. That's what this full moon is going to be about. And as we go into the following week, as we go into that week where it's the election week, that week will change the course of history. Because on the very day of the USA election, Mercury in Libra is going to go direct on that day. And that's pretty monumental. Because it's about, we're dredging things. We're pulling all the secrets out. We're pulling all the lies out. We're pulling all the facades out, and they're punching it out right now, punching through all the masks, punching through all the lies, and really getting down to the nitty gritty, the basic, the foundation of what this fight is all about. And it's about division. It's about division between two parties that can't get along. That's it. And they can't work together, and they can't achieve anything together. So if you're divided, you can't do anything to solve a problem, because it's just division. It's just an end. There's no communication. There's nothing you can't resolve it. There's no looking at it from somebody's perspective. There's no compromise. There's nothing. That is a Mercury in Libra, which is in retrograde. That's that energy. Well, as soon as the November 3rd happens and Mercury goes direct. Now, granted, it takes a little bit for it to rev back up, but it is then about, okay, how do we move forward now that we've made this big mess and there is all this chaos and there's all of this complete instability and nothing is recognizable and nothing will ever be the same again. What are we going to build? How are we going to build from this? How are we going to achieve a strong foundation after something like that? You know? Well, we're going to start from where it really matters. We're going to be true and honest with each other. We're going to be in a place where we're more compassionate and where we care more about each other as a collective. One thing that is happening is we're all tired. It doesn't matter which side you're on. We're all tired of it all. We're all exhausted. We just want to have the election. We want to get it over with and we want to move on. That is a collective. All of us want that. And that's where it starts, is to find some morsel, some tiny seed, some grain of sand that we can unite on. And on that tiny grain of sand, this is totally reminding me of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Never-Ending Story, but at the very end, she's like, the only thing left of Fantasia is a grain of sand, and she's holding it, in front of his face, and she's like, you can build off this grain of sand and you can build the Fantasia again. But from that point on, the nothingness that was in Fantasia is gone. And it's a flourishing, beautiful world. I don't know if you've ever seen Never-Ending Story, but it's worth watching. It's cute. But that is what this full moon is about. It's spooky. It's scary. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's got the demons and the lies and the masks. And it is the spookiest, spooky Halloween moon we've had in ever. And you and I are going to be present for something historical. And you're like, well, Annette, what's the positive energy? There's barely any. I can't right now. I hate to tell you this. Okay. The sun in Scorpio is going to be in a trine with Neptune and Pisces. And it's going to be opposing Uranus and Taurus. So for some of us that want a deep connection, that want to remove the veil, that want to get honest, completely honest about what you hope for, what you dream about, and you want to get together with somebody who can help those dreams manifest and help you give you the resources, or at least support you through the manifesting stage, starting over, manifesting from a place of mastering. This could be the Phoenix rising, the transformative energy that you've been looking for a really long time. But you have to believe in it, and you have to have faith, and you have to really go out into the world, and you have to believe in what is not real. Like what is not our present. You have to dream of something better, a better world, a better economy, a better family life, a closer partnership, a more united partnership, a deeper connection, an intimate bond. Nothing that's superficial anymore. We have to stop connecting on a superficial level. We have to stop valuing superficial things. Once we can get into what is really, really important and what we should be valuing and the depth of that, then we can start to build something that I think is going to be the most beautiful thing in the whole wide world, personally. But you have to believe on that level. Anyhow, guys, thank you guys so much. I know this is like crazy. Pick a card reading is next. That'll be separate because these are just too long. And for all of you guys who are really astrology nerds like me, this stuff is like, it's like the most insane energy. And so you want to just sit and talk about how amazing the astrology is, how scary, and how major crap is going to go down, and there's going to be a lot of things to be scared about. but also it's a little bit, since I'm kind of more on the sciencey nerdy type, this is just like everybody's in a petri dish and I just want to watch what's happening because it's like insane. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching.